mesmo a tristeza da gente era mais bela. E além disso se via da janela um cantinho de céu e o Redentor. É, meu amigo, só resta uma certeza. É preciso acabar com essa tristeza. É preciso inventar de novo amor.
Nascimento Silva 107, você ensinando pra Elisete as canções de canção do amor demais. Lembra que tempo feliz, aqui saudade, Ipanema era só felicidade, era como se o amor doesse em paz.
Okay, let's get started. I have 5 minutes? No way. There's no way I'm gonna make it in 5 minutes. Give me more. Okay, so today we're gonna be talking about a new era of solo staking. But first of all, we need to figure out who solo stakers are. Who of you knows, who of you heard about solo stakers and why are they solo? Oh, probably some of you. Okay, let's do a quick recap. So, solo stakers, if we look at a typical portrait of a solo staker, first of all, solo stakers are independent. What does it mean? People always ask me, like, when you are saying independent actors or independent players, what do you mean? So by independent, I mean that a solo staker or a community staker is a person or a group of people who are making decisions on their own. So there's no bigger entity or other person dictating them what to do and how to do. That's the definition of independency. So solo stakers are for sure independent. Secondly, they are not super proficient because for them, staking and running validators, which is more important because they are doing a full-featured staking, not just depositing funds into liquid staking protocol, but no, they are doing full staking, so they are using their funds and running validators, and they are doing it as a hobby. Also, using their own capital. Because even if you have a machine, a DApp node, or a computer at home, and you're running validators, but you are using not your own funds, but the funds that you get from your client, from your friends, or from someone else, in Ethereum terms, you will be a professional operator. Maybe small, but still professional operator. So if you want to be a solo staker, you should use your own capital first. And last but not the least, solo stakers are Ethereum aligned. Because why the hell on earth would they use their own funds to stake them, to run validators for like a mini tiny little difference in rewards? They can simply deposit it into any staking protocol or restaking protocol, get more rewards, points, and so on. So if they're doing so, they're definitely Ethereum aligned. And now let's find out why it is important for Ethereum to have solo stakers. So first of all is a censorship resistance. This is my personal best, my personal favorite part. Why? Because in all other cases, if we are speaking about solo stakers and we are saying, oh, there's not enough solo stakers, or if there's like only few solo stakers, the other points would not be that meaningful. But censorship resistance is always great. Imagine 99% of Ethereum network is occupied by evil node operators. They are all censoring transactions and not allowing you to proceed with your transaction. But if we still have this 1% of independent solo stakers who are not acting on someone's order, but they're acting on their own, and they decided, no, we would not censor, eventually your transaction and your transaction would pass. So that's super cool. No matter how many solo stakers we have, even a small bunch would be beneficial for censorship resistance. The rest of the things, I mean, you've heard about it a lot, like network resilience. The more geographical jurisdictions we have, the more network providers and so on. The more diversity we have here, the more resilient the network. Decentralization is somewhat similar to resiliency, but it's different. It is the same thing, but in terms of entities. So you might have validators in each and every country, in each and every place in the world, but if they are all controlled by a single node operator or a single entity, this is shit for decentralization. And for decentralization, you need to have these independent actors. And for sure, at the end of the day, while solo stakers are independent, they benefit for credible neutrality. But now let's take a look how solo staking looks today. As I've mentioned before, people who are solo stakers now, they are really Ethereum aligned, because they have to face high capital requirements. I mean, they do need either 32 ETH or 8 ETH plus RPL or any other stuff. They do need a lot of money, their own money. They face pretty low APR. The learning curve is pretty steep. If no one is guiding you towards how to do solo staking, how to do Ethereum validation, you would probably get lost in a second. And you will be lost there for, I don't know, many weeks. Also, if you are doing solo staking right now, your rewards are absolutely unpredictable. So all this lottery with MEV, you never know when you're going to produce a block. You never know if this block would be high. So like just yesterday, one of Lido validators got a block with 50 ETH worth of MEV. If that block was mined by a solo staker, was produced by a solo staker, he would be incredibly rich. But that was one validator out of a million. So what are the chances here? Pretty low. And also this penalty. So if you're a solo staker, you're going offline, your machine went offline, or your mom plugged off your machine, or the internet, or your microwave go crazy, and then, oh, come on, you are offline, you need to pay penalties. So the situation right now is as follows. There's not that much of a solo stakers. Being a solo staker is mostly a pain and then something good. But Ethereum still needs solo stakers. So today, I mean, not literally today, but very soon, we are entering a new era of solo staking with Lido community staking module. And let me briefly tell you why it is indeed a new era. First of all, capital requirements, capital barriers. Unlike any other protocol in the whole ecosystem, and for sure not Ethereum itself, with Lido CSM, solo stakers would be able to run their first validator with 2.4 ETH, and second and each and every other validator with 1.3 ETH. So this is a thing that has never been a fact before. In any other protocol, you can tell now that, oh, we know some protocols that do not require bond at all. Yes, but they do require to find the rest of the stake, like a stakewise. Or you might say, oh, some protocols are now thinking of reducing their capital bond requirement to 1 ETH or even lower, like Puffer. But at the end of the day, they would generate keys on your behalf and you would not own them. So this is also not the case. In CSM, you will be doing validation in a way you are doing vanilla validation. So you own the keys, you hold the machine, you own everything. And the only thing Lido does for you is allocate the missing stake for your validator, with you being requested to deposit only that low amount of ETH. But this is not it. If you've been solo staking already, or if you've been performing well on CSM testnet, and you are right now in this early adoption list, and you are eligible to join CSM during early adoption period, which would start like in November, or maybe even in October, the mainnet release is so close, your first bond requirement would be 1.5 ETH. But let's move on. Now let's speak of rewards. Imagine that there's a proposal, not imagine, there's a proposal to Ethereum, and that is discussed in Ethereum community right now to reduce the requirements to run validator from 32 ETH to 1 ETH. Okay, let's imagine that this has been done. And so what? I mean, yes, this barrier would be lower. People would be able to spin up a validator using 1 ETH, but they would still need to run validator, and they would still get the same APR as they would get running 32 ETH validator. And what's the point for them to do so? Again, with 1 ETH, you will never break even. You will get the same rewards, or almost the same rewards as you can get with the liquid staking protocol. So the rewards, they should be higher. People who are running validators, they should be incentivized. And with CSM, works ridiculously simple. So here's the validator stake. And here's the staking fees or share of staking rewards that CSM node operators would get from the full 32 ETH validator. But since their bond is deposited in a form of STETH and withhold on a contract, it also generates the regular STETH rewards. So you're getting regular STETH rewards on your bond plus commissions on the whole 32 ETH, which results in almost 2.3 multiplier to your APR. So with the current APR of 3.3 or so, CSM validators can expect the APR of 7 to 8% on their bonded capital. Now let's try to move a bit faster. Timer shows me nothing. I'm already out of time. But have smooth rewards. Again, as I mentioned, this crazy MEV, one of the Lido operators got this MEV. And you know what's the best thing? You know what's the best thing? All Lido node operators and all STETH holders benefited from this huge MEV. Because the way how the rewards distribution system works in Lido is that all the rewards are combined together, and then evenly distributed between each and every node operator. So if you are participating in CSM as a validator, your rewards would be closer to average than to median. And this is a simple graph of how Ethereum rewards on execution layer looks like. So you'll be at the point A, but not at the point M, which is definitely better. And one of the last things is that with CSM, we thought a lot about solo stakers, about home stakers, and we know that your mom might unplug your machine. We know that your cat might destroy electricity or internet cable. That's why, to be classified as a bad performer, you need to drop below the threshold, like this threshold. But to drop there, we need to look at the threshold, and the threshold itself would be network average performance minus 5%. So to be classified as bad performer, you really need to participate very bad this month, like way worse than network average. And in this case, oh, sorry, you would not get staking commissions. But in the other cases, even if you participated on average, or slightly above, or slightly below, you will still get this averaged rewards, and you would not feel it. I mean, no matter if today you got a power outage for 2 hours, or you not get it, you would still get same rewards. That's cool. And my personal best is in Ethereum staking, especially from the node operator side, from the solo staker perspective, you always have to deal with a very complicated interfaces, very complicated ways of interaction, like open, for example, Rocket Pool site, and try to find how can you spin up a node. I did it multiple times. I really respect these guys. They are amazing, but it is impossible to find how to spin up a node from their site. So what we did is we create a simple interface, which is almost like any other simple dashboard, and within one transaction, you will be able to create your node operator, upload keys, and then after that, the only thing you would need to do is to maintain your validator. And later on, it is up to you to decide in which moment in time you want to claim rewards, and again, you will do it in one transaction and one click. Last but not the least, the learning curve. We spend a lot of time working with our community together to gather all the databases, all the information, to recreate this information and to create this database and the learning community for solo stakers. Our community lifeguards, Anti, Sam, StayCat, they're doing great job working on the ground and educating communities. So I believe that with CSM, finally, people would be able to just join the community, just open the link, join Discord, and then learn all they need about solo staking, not in weeks, not in months, but in days. And in general, with CSM, Ethereum solo stakers would feel better than ever. CSM is launching on a mainnet this November. The early adoption list formation is now ended, but you'll be able to find the link there, how to check your eligibility, or if you wouldn't find, just tag me, I'll be here till the evening. You can participate on testnet, you can demonstrate how good you are, you can give it a try, or if you are already in the early adoption, you will be able to join in November, but if not, in February, next month, or in March, CSM would become permissionless, And this 2.4 ETH bond requirement and this 1.3 ETH bond requirement would become reality for the whole network. So join us, join our community, learn with us, validate with us, and let's make Ethereum better together. Thank you.